Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Mavuno Young and Perez. We're glad to have you. We hope you've been enjoying our series so far. And today we're going to finish it off by discussing the critical consumption of media. And we have the media mogul himself.
Oh my God, man.
Please tell us, introduce yourself
like
to us.
I own one company.
You do, but you do. You own multiple companies. Stop, tell us the truth.
Sasa, good to see you today.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. We're so glad to have you.
Thank you.
For those who live in a cave and don't know who you are, please tell us who you are.
I'm Fred Flintstones.
yes, guys. This is the man behind everything that's been happening.
I'm just joking. My name's Frederick Karumpangatia. I'm a DJ and a mix engineer who majors in post-production work.
But you're famously known as?
I'm famously known as DJ Krober.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember when I was younger and I used to see you on TV all the time. Every Sunday morning, I remember seeing that.
Yes, back in the day when I was on TV.
Do you know, it's such an honor. I feel like, please don't forget to sign my autograph before you leave.
Yeah, right.
That would be amazing. Yeah. So today we're going to be discussing media.
Yeah.
How has your use of media evolved over time?
It has changed, man. It has changed. When I was a kid, I used to watch cartoons. Then when I became a teenager, some series here and there.
Yeah.
Then I started watching movies in my late teens, in my 20s. Then when I got on TV, it changed. Now I realized, so this is how things are made. And then I started watching TV differently.
Did it become more fun or less fun because you know the behind the scenes?
It was still fun. A good story is still a good story. A good story is still a good story.
Yeah.
Regardless, even if I know how it's made. Yeah. If I'm engulfed in the story, I'm in. Then when I turned 30, I went to campus.
You're 30?
Yes.
No.
Funny enough, man. When I turned 30, that's when I went to university. So when we came back home after studies, media was just completely different. Because when I was doing my undergrad, it just changed the way I view media. And the way we were exposed on how to interpret media, how to see media. So now when I watch content, it's completely different. Completely different. Even when I make my own content, it's very different. Yes, I'm very intentional, very purposed. I try to get emotional connections. And it's completely different.
And with social media, I think also being a big source of
Interestingly, I have big accounts, but I'm not a social media guy myself.
Oh, really?
Honestly, I'm not that much into socials. Yes. If you ask me...
Is there any reason why?
It's something that I did out of an occupational hazard. I was a public figure. So I was like, it's good for you to have a Facebook. It's good for you to have an Instagram. It's good for you to have a Twitter. Now that I've used social media for this while, my favorite is Twitter. Then Facebook, then Instagram, in that particular order. I like Twitter because people there speak their minds properly. So there's acceptance. If you're different, you can be accepted. So I like that.
Yeah, yes. I think Twitter scares me because the amount of bullying that can happen on Twitter.
I also like that about Twitter also.
Okay.
That's speaking your mind, that someone can disagree with you and not be apologetic. And the fact that someone can disagree with your thought line is beautiful. Is because I can learn something.
They can be nicer about it.
Yes, I tweeted something the other day, someone disagreed with me, and then I said, I do not agree with your perspective. Then he said, this is what I meant. And then, so this is what you meant. I'm like, beautiful. So I love that about Twitter.
Okay. All right. So going behind the scenes, please tell us, because obviously you've done this. What are the chief objectives of media outlets?
I would say to change perspectives. I want you to see something differently. So the main reasons, when I was on TV, our goal was to change minds and change hearts. So if that was our personal goal as a Christian brand on TV, because we are out there to change people's hearts, the same principle reciprocates everywhere, whether it's news, whether it's entertainment, whatever facet it falls on. Our goal is to inform, and that information changes the way you view something or the way you see it. So I believe the ultimate goal of media outlets is, they're usually two, is to inform and to entertain. But once you're informed, it changes a perspective.
Right.
Once you're entertained, or the way you are entertained, it changes the way you see something. Yes.
So, but like, and I feel like with social media, this has happened a lot with the, because I don't know, it can be used as a tool also to manipulate people as well, right?
Oh,
so
yes,
the information given is not necessarily like, they're not giving you like objective information. They're not saying, all right, so here's A and here's B. We want you to choose A, but there's also B.
There will always be. You see, Bato, at this point, you are a media outlet. I'm a media outlet. Everyone out there with a social media account is a media outlet.
Yeah.
Now, the way we generate our media is based on how we're informed. Now, unfortunately, at this point in time, the content me and you and everyone watching will generate will not go through an editorial process. Someone who's a professional on how to convey a perspective will not go through my tweet or through your post to tell you, oh, actually you need to word it like this because of this and this and this. So because of that, we post it the way it comes. We agree, we disagree. So that element of taking sides is what polarizes. That is one. And then two is algorithms.
Yeah.
So the way they are designed is they go like, oh, so this person likes seeing this and this and this, so they start bringing you more and more and more.
And that's what I'm saying is complete manipulation. Because in the before it was on TV, advertisements on TV, like I could stand up and walk away from it. But here they study what I like. They study my habits. And then they manipulate me. Like you see what you can't. For example, if you're struggling, like if you're a shopaholic, right, and you're constantly seeing all these ads of online shopping, how are you? It's completely toxic, and that's what I'm saying. I think sometimes media has evolved to a place where it feels like
to some point it is toxic. To some point, this is weird. I like it. If I see an ad of a sound card and I've been Googling about sound cards, I'll be like, I'm okay with that. Now, the challenge is if I'm Googling for the wrong things. I mean, right now we are dealing with QAnon theorists.
What?
you know who QAnon theorists are?
No, I have no idea what that
is. These are people in the US who have just weird theories about life. They're like Trump enthusiasts. So these QAnon theorists, the algorithms have been sinking them more into the right. Yeah. So they've just taken a turn that is just so ugly that has just messed up the American politics. So these are the dangers of these algorithms.
You become extremist.
So for adverts, I'm okay. I'm okay seeing things that I like as an ad. I can live with that. But when it comes to now just being careful with media, just knowing if I search more of this, the algorithm will think that I am more into this. And maybe I'm just trying to understand a perspective of this.
That's true.
Yeah.
But then, like, so that's the problem. That's the scary bit. Either you become an extremist, or like you're almost because this is what happens. There's a line, and then people, because like what you're saying, like they end up feeding you what you're searching for, and you end up so far on the left or so far on the right. So anyone in the middle looks like a weirdo. Like you almost don't understand.
Funny enough, the people who are in the middle, for you to be able to get information that is properly presented to you, at this point in time, you have to pay. Yeah, for you to see a well-written piece on Wall Street or New York Times, you pay.
But how do you do that? How do you filter? How do you become that person in the middle where you objectively see both sides?
It is now there's a team of people who've read the article, who've dealt with perspectives, who've known this is the right way to present this information. So well presented information, you pay for it now. It's not for free, but extreme information, that is for free.
Yeah, so that's where majority are.
That's where majority are.
That's so sad. So tell us, how do you advise then that we filter through information that we receive?
The first thing I would advise someone is, once information comes your way, I always like using examples. Examples just bring context into the picture. What can we talk about? We had a BBI ruling the other day. So the judges ruled this is unconstitutional and stuff. So that was breaking news. We got it like that and we received it. And then a few hours later, it trended But when it trended, you see the sides now popping.
Right.
So you see people going like, oh, this is the right thing. These are people are fighting for Kenya. Or this is the deep state being fought. Da, 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 da. So you start going, it start taking two different directions. Yeah. So when you start looking for what are these people thinking about, it brings you more of this. So what are these people thinking about? So how to maneuver that is to know what is right for me at this particular point. So once I get the information I need, I ask myself, so once I've watched this ruling, what is important for me? So how will this affect me? So this might affect my business. This might affect my gigging life because I'm a DJ. So because someone might start to campaign and they might go like, okay, let's look for brands who align with this belief like this, or let's look for brands who align like this and pay them. So if these people come my way, where do I stand?
Right.
Unanishika. Now I'm just speaking for myself, not for everyone who's watching.
Yeah.
Unaelewa? As a public figure. So how will this information affect me? If these people come knocking my doors, if an NGO knocks my door to say, hey, we've noticed you're against this. Why don't we pay you to continue being against this? Hey, we've noticed you're against this. Why don't we pay you to now be on our side? So how does this information affect me?
Yeah.
So that's the first question to ask yourself.
How does it affect me?
Yes. So once I know how it affects me, I'll make a powerful decision.
But then how do you sift through the nonsense? Because, so for example, like even the BBI or even the what's happening now with Israel and Palestine, it's like, I don't have time to read all of that or go through and then make a decision on how it affects me objectively. So usually what I do is I go to a person who I trust politically to have a politically correct opinion, or someone who has similar values to me. But like you said, they also have an agenda, right? So how do you then sift through the nonsense without...
You can only do so much with that. But I like that thing of similar values. We all are attracted to people who we identify things similarly.
Yeah.
Unaelewa? So there's a form of safety in that. There's a form of, oh, we agree. Oh, you don't curse when you're together. You don't smoke. You don't drink. So there are those things that we have agreed that we are together here. Unaelewa?
Yeah.
So those similar values might attract me to hear your opinion. You understand that? So with that, people who have similar values, there's a safety that comes with just going to people who have similar values. But you also need to be aware, which you've highlighted, that their opinion, there are things you will agree and there are things you will not agree. Anytime an opinion is shared, as you are speaking, and you are speaking our minds to the viewer, as you are speaking an opinion, there is what the viewer will go like, that I agree, that I do not disagree, which is very welcomed, and that is the way it should be. So you need to be in that space where you are exercising that freedom. I think it's something powerful to get.
So you don't advise Christians to stick to Christian content?
No. I wouldn't advise a Christian to stick to only Christian content. You'll be very biased. It's good for you to know what is going on. You see, the good book says, we're in the world, but not of this world. So it's good for you to know what is going on out there, even for your own safety. But
sometimes there's danger in that, because we are very, we're very like susceptible to deception. So sometimes you can genuinely be deceived because you're thinking, oh, I'm being very liberal by also looking at the other side.
Yes. We've seen people capitalize on Christianity.
That's true as well.
Yes, and you're here consuming Christian content.
Yeah, that's
in
true.
the name of, I want to protect the presence of God, which is awesome, beautiful, man. But at times, someone might capitalize on that or find ignorance and just play with that thin line of ignorance.
Yeah.
And what happens with secularism is you get to... You see, secularism does not mean it's bad. Secularism just means it's not a God first. I can watch a documentary about animals. They're not there to tell me, oh, God created amazing animals. But they're there to go like, wow, see this kangaroo. You know, look at this polar bear that is wherever. Look at this lion. Look at this thing. So this is secular content that I'm exposing myself to. But because of my beliefs, I'm there blown away, going like, wow, you mean to tell me these birds fly from US all the way to Chile.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're blown away that they fly back again. And so so that element, I pick what I identify with because I'm blown away. That a bird with such a tiny brain can make such movements. And it's not Christian content. It's just content that's just, that is just blowing me away.
I think I like what you said about ignorance as well. I think it's just one of those things where you have to be spiritually mature as well to be able to know and to discern.
Yeah.
And to find, and I think, you're right. You do find God in almost everything.
If you choose to. Yeah, if you choose to, you will.
Yeah,
if you don't,
that's true.
You will.
That is true.
I like that.
And also, I think a big problem, and I think a lot of people are struggling with this, is like, for example, if you're struggling with like porn addiction, right? And a lot of media content is very triggering to those struggling with porn.
Yeah.
How would you advise those people to filter through how they use media?
Wow, that's a good one. Now the question is filtering pornographic content in normal content, like a sex scene in a documentary in a series that you're watching. I don't know what kind of documentary that is. In a series that you're watching.
Yeah.
You see, at the end of the day, we have a how do I put this? We have a choice. And then at the same time, you feel like you don't have a choice because you're there watching, they are fighting, and then the guy falls in love with the girl, and then the girl goes in danger, and then the guy saves the girl. Then you're like, oh, this is nice, I'm liking this. and then they're kissing, then all of a sudden they're naked, then you're like, oh, really? Was that necessary?
Right.
Now that comes to agenda. Agenda is, why was that there? You see, and the people who pay for the content have a reason as to why they have to they have to input that content there, and that's why we have to be careful with these people. People who pay for content to be produced have an agenda to push.
Right.
We're here producing content. Someone has paid for this content to be produced, so there's an agenda we are trying to push here of you need to be careful with how you consume media. So someone is concerned about this that is willing to foot for this to happen. You get get it? So coming back to that scene, someone is concerned that scene has to be there for the sake of the story. So what agenda are they pushing? That we don't know. Now, sifting through there's usually an age limit on these things, so you can choose what to watch. You can forward. Plus nowadays we have a remote. Nikushika tu na forward. I remember once, and I like this. I remember once we were at home with my wife and my wife's younger sisters, and we were there watching a movie, and boom, a sex scene come. And I remember my wife says, forward. And I'm like, hey, but sisi wote ni watu wazima hapa.
Yeah.
Unaniget?
Yeah.
You are an adult, your sister is an adult. Tumalizane na hii scene itaendelea to the next one. And then my wife kept quiet. Hakufight. Then tukaenda bed. Then my wife akasema, you see, you are a person of influence. So when my younger sister sees you go through this, ataenda hai. Unanishika? But akiona ukiforward, you are speaking something. And like, wow, how come? See, at that point,
At
that point, I went like, we are all adults. But nikaenda, wow, I missed an opportunity right there to be salt.
Wow.
Yeah. So I went like, whoa. Next time this happens, I need to do that.
Yeah.
So at that point, nilikuwa, this girl is 23 years old. Unaniambia nini? But now in context, I went like, I honestly, I should have forwarded. Singiacheza hiyo card, we are all grown-ups. Because she's not married. So ayuko sexually. What am I saying?
That's okay.
Ayuko sexually active kama venye mimi niko at this particular point with my wife. So I felt the need. After that chat, I went like, she's correct. What wisdom out of a simple moment. Yeah, I agree with you. I should have forwarded. So in coming back in closing that question, I would say, ikikam, forward. Yeah, forward.
Yeah.
Because that automatically itakupeleka tu into a hole, which is, we all have been victims of that.
Yeah, that's true.
Me being one of them. I don't have angels here. I just have I'm a sinner who's loved by God.
Yeah. And also like, because would you like, what about accountability? Because there's a lot of
Now, coming to accountability, I'm going to talk about what I implemented with actually kitu ilitoka from my mentor. And the way my mentor implemented this was, he advised us we all need to download, in fact, your app into accountability app. Literally speaking, you download it. Unfortunately, you have to pay for the service. It's not for free. And it's an app that works like a VPN. So it's if the microphone is the ISP and this is my phone, the app is here. So what it does, it blocks all porn sites for you. Wow. So if you try and access a porn site, it blocks you and then it notifies your accountability people. Unaelewa? And then when it notifies your accountability people, this is very interesting. It gives them wisdom on how they should approach you now that they have been notified. Yeah, so it tells them, don't be too harsh on him. Understand, it's a trip in the long walk. You understand?
Yeah.
So just approach him with wisdom of we all fall down.
Right.
We all fall short of grace. So let's, be kind with him, understand, what caused the relapse, what brought this, how can we maneuver this? And at times it's just nothing. At times it's just your brain going there unasema tu, hey, my brain just wandered and I went like, oh, by the way, kitu inaweza wakaje, mimi on a porn site, blocked.
Yeah.
The moment niko block TV, I know, 3 people have been notified.
Oh my gosh, that's
automatically
amazing.
So 3 people have been notified. So these 3 people will receive alerts. So when they receive alerts, they know a talk is coming either that day or the following day. So you have to sit down, drink tea, talk, chat, let's talk about this. And the more it happens, the more unajipata una reduce. Inaisha tu because unajua people will be notified about this. And then hata uki access, hawezi access. It's always on. And when I switch my toggle off, they are all notified. That ulizima app yako.
What?
Yeah. They are all notified immediately, like, right there and then. And then they go like, what is Sasa? There is
That's
now
a different
steps.
Conversation. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I didn't even, that blows my mind because I don't know that many people know about that app.
Oh, to be honest, very few people know about that app. And it's because, one, it might be a small company. They might not have enough resources to market their product. Unanishika, they might not have extensive, networks in organizations. I think it would play very well in religious organizations. Yeah. In my perspective, if they just target one, and most religious organizations have a way of protecting you in the office because there's an IT guy who will install that for you. Unanishika.
That's true.
So no one can watch porn at church.
Yeah.
But outside church, what will happen?
Yeah.
Unanishika.
Yeah,
so that element of just being knowing that uko accountable, yani it's following you all the time. It will change your behavior and just pole unajipata, it's been 3 months. It's been 6 months. Unajipata, I think we installed that app sometime in 2016. Unajipata from 2018 to now, unajipata, wow, man, it's been 2 or 3 years. I've not visited a porn site. So unaenda like, wow, unapata uko redeemed, but it's like an addict. As an addict, you never say you're not an addict anymore.
Yeah.
You never say you're not an addict, so that you have that reverence of ikitu inaweza kupata. Unaelewa? And then it was in a way, the way we implemented it was across gadgets. So it was, ndio simu natumianga, okay, ndio laptop tunatumianga, tunainstall kwa both laptop na kwa simu. Any gadget yenye unatumia ku access the internet, all of them have it. So most of them have two. Utajipata uko tu na simu na laptop. Maybe kienda sana, maybe an iPad or a moving tablet or something like that. So it's installed everywhere.
That's amazing. Even for prevention, because
I
think the best way to stay away from
prevention,
porn is to not start,
Yeah.
So that's amazing. I honestly, I think that's everybody should know about that app. Everybody should know about it.
And there are quite a number of them. It's not the only one. Yeah. So it depends. Plus they keep on updating them. So they keep on updating because what happens is the sites keep coming up.
Yeah.
Over and over. So their job is to go like, oh, these ones have come up, so tuongeze. So that also increases even more safety in case you hear of a new one and then you click on it and then it doesn't notify the other people. And then the funny thing, this is very interesting. The funny thing about this app is you might not go to a porn site, you might go to Instagram or maybe TikTok, and maybe you're there staring at chicks dancing, some butts, some hair, some short clothes or some skimpy dress. So what the app does, it randomly grabs screenshots. So it randomly grabs screenshots. So unapata hizo screenshots ziko randomly zimechukuliwa that day, zinaekwa and then a month mnakuwa notified. Hizi ndo zile screenshots zenye tuligrab.
Oh my gosh. So it actually monitors your habits as well.
Monitors your habit. Yani it's like someone is constantly on you, with you like this. Like, but wacha tuone venye maisha yako inaendelea.
That is amazing.
All the time. Yani it because as ministers of the gospel, and I remember I was very challenged about this. As a minister of the gospel, the most important thing is the presence of God in our lives. If that leaves, we are gone.
That's true.
We lose the authority
that
God has given us. Yeah, I cannot speak with authority if the presence is not there.
And I don't know a person who's like, you come from watching something pornographic and then you're like, I'm ready to worship and I'm ready to pray. There's nothing. You feel so...
Yeah, you feel like so...
The low is never worth the high.
Guy ever.
That's true. Like, no one wants to do that.
You're like, me, I don't want this. You just feel you're such an incapable human
Exactly.
being. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, that is amazing. I feel like let's just... end on that high.
That's life on 100.
I love that so much because I feel like that's going to help so many people, because I'm sure a lot of people are struggling with that, because it's nothing people don't talk about it publicly as well. So if it's something you can do to help yourself privately as well, that is amazing.
By all means, just Google them, accountability apps on porn, and you'll find quite a number of them.
I'm glad. So like basically what we're saying today is we need to be critical of how we consume media.
We need to be alert.
We need to find people who are morally aligned to what we want, what we who we are as well, and just know that everybody has an agenda, and those agendas sometimes aren't the best. But we need to also have discernment and to grow in our walks, that we may know what is right and what is wrong. Thank you so much for joining us.
Awesome. In closing, I just want you to say your name again.
Bato.
Just listen. Do you mean we should say Bato the whole week? Sema tena?
Bato. It's like Mato with a B. Bato is fine. Bato is fine.
You're a great sport, man.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. I'm
truly
so
humbled.
Do you want to pray for the people at home? And
yes, I will.
Yeah.
So let's pray. God, I just thank you for these beautiful faces watching today. I just speak, may the Spirit of the Lord just fill the space that they are in right now, and just minister to them in an individual capacity, oh God. Draw them closer to you this week, oh God. Raise up people around them and within them to water what seed has been planted in today. In Jesus' name we pray and believe.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you again.
Awesome.
Thank you. All right. Well,